Manchester United. Nathan Jones has split his squad virtually in two for the two EFL competitions. So Carabao Cup goalkeeper James Shea returns, and of the outfield players, only defenders Sonny Bradley and Reece Norrington-Davies started here in the Championship on Saturday. But Jordan Clark, who's 27 today, came on and got the winner against Derby, hard on the heels of grabbing the Carabao Cup goal at Reading, which set up tonight. Ryan Tunnicliffe played in a couple of League Cup games for Manchester United 8 years ago now, and as a first start at right back for Peter Kiosa. The dilemma for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is whether to get more game minutes into his first choice players who looked so leggy on Saturday, or to give some action to the rest of the squad. He's chosen the latter course. Only Harry Maguire started on Saturday. There is a debut for Dean Henderson. That's certainly a major headline. And a first start for Donny van der Beek, a scoring substitute against Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. Tim Robinson is the referee. And Luton is a multicultural town, and the anti-discrimination messages are very relevant here. So we're underway. Manchester United have had some trouble in this competition in the last half a dozen seasons, going out to teams from lower divisions on 4 of those 6 occasions. Here's Fred. Wan-Bissaka's in at right back, having not been quite fit enough to face his old club Crystal Palace, and Wilfried Zaha in particular would have been grateful for that. Here's Nemanja Matic. Odion Ighalo, the main striker, funneling back here.
Well, the last thing I'm sure Solskjaer would have emphasised in that away dressing room as it is the word attitude. If his United players can get that right, there's a more than fair chance that they're going to win this game. If it's not right, as we've seen so often down the years in cup matches, they go away embarrassed.
Forward by Bailly, led off by Ighalo. Nice passing from the Premier League team. Will have won this competition 5 times. Luton have won it once. I hesitate to mention that final. They were 2-1 down to Arsenal when a certain Alan Smith got a Wembley goal, but managed to win 3-2.
Their finest hour. They had a good team. They had a good team. Nick Harford, Weinstein.
And they've got exciting times at the moment here at Kenilworth Road. The pendulum has swung back their way, so to speak. They beat Derby and Wayne Rooney here on Saturday. They've got a local derby against Watford, first time for 14 years to come at the weekend, and Manchester United tonight. Jesse Lingard, who scored in a win at Wembley the last time Manchester United won the trophy back in 2017, is number 17 Fred. Lovely playing surface, no problems for the international stars in that respect.
I suppose for Nathan Jones, as much as he might think that Watford at the weekend is probably a bigger game because it's all about survival still in the Championship, these players for Luton out there, this is huge for them. As individuals, they all want to prove themselves, win their battles, show that they can play at a higher level.
Kazanga Luar chasing that down, who has played at a higher level. Nathan Jones taking on Manchester United for the first time in his football career, either as a player or as a manager. And he does refer to a couple of conversations he's had on probably transfer business with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the past. Little scamper for Dean Henderson. Excellent for Sheffield United in the Championship, and last season in the Premier League played every game except for the 2 against Manchester United. Of course, he wasn't eligible for those games, having been on loan. Lingard, a thrusting run. He's got Van der Beek, and Juan Mato can line one up on his good left foot, and a good stop by the former Arsenal youth goalkeeper James Shea, who actually dropped out of football into non-league for a season before he's come back now.
Good bit of work by Jesse Lingard, Martin, just taking it on the half turn and getting him and his team on the front foot. You want a bit more of that. Good ball in by Maguire to him, fizzed into his feet.
Yeah, there's talk of interest from Tottenham. United a long time. And probably until the back end of last season when he sort of resurfaced. I remember him scoring in the final win at Leicester. He had a lean period for longer than he would have wanted. He's always energetic and always willing to really give it a go. Shea goes long, looking for Danny Hilton. And Maguire has twice got to semi-finals of this competition, once with Hull and with Manchester United, who were losing semi-finalists last season to Manchester City, which was painful, and that's a bit painful for Brandon Williams.
Yeah, strong challenge by Shinnie. There was no malintent in that, but they've got to be aggressive, Luton, in these kind of challenges, trying to assert themselves.
Williams has given it away to Hilton. Furthers forward, looking for support from behind. Got it from George Moncur. Lua drives in the cross, and Williams has to deal with it. There was no chance of Henderson coming for that. It was flat and fast.
Clark on this near side just got caught a little too far out, maybe not expecting such a good cross.
This is Kioso, who was born in Dublin, the Congolese family. He's playing in the National League with Hartlepool. Matic. It's not so long since Luton were playing in a fifth tier of English football themselves. They had 5 years out of the Football League, and yet they were a club in 1992 who were in the old First Division when the restructuring took place. They got relegated and missed out on being inaugural members of the Premier League. They've not been in the top flight since. And they're setting out in this season as if that's a genuine target for them rather than survival, which of course was achieved a certain amount of miraculous help, it seemed. They were destined for the drop. It was one of the great escapes. Here's Igalo escaping his marking. And Bissaka's up with him into Van de Beek, who is it was his party piece, his goal on Saturday. Really, he's very good coming late into the box and grabbing goals. He showed that at Ajax.
Good goal, wasn't it? Good goal on his debut.
Manchester United were last here in the final few weeks of that old First Division, 1992. And then went into the Premier League and actually lost their first 2 games. Away to Sheffield United, home to Everton. They haven't lost the first 2 games of a season since then, but of course if they would be beaten here, it would be history repeating itself. Maguire. Eric Bailly. Matic, who got a goal in the semi-final second leg and then got sent off at the Etihad. It's the only red card Manchester United had all season. Here's Lingard. Good crisp tempo to the early minutes here at Kenilworth Road.
Yeah, started well the contest, and United are looking pretty sharp when they do get the ball. Lingard particularly, so he won't be displeased.
Mata's got across to take the corner. Short to Lingard, changing the angle. Wan-Bissaka, Fred, Matic. Finally, the ball does come in. Maguire had repositioned, he was the target. Wan-Bissaka's there again. Fred. Get hold of that. Mata, even with his touch, couldn't.
Yeah, quite a firm pitch. It skips across the surface pretty quickly.
He's a genial man, Juan Mata, and he recognised really that he should have controlled it. Maguire. Still time, of course, for Manchester United to make further moves in the transfer market. A lot of their supporters would be hoping that might happen, as the likes of Jadon Sancho. Jack Grealish, who signed a new deal, of course, with Aston Villa, so he seems to be out of the question. A new left back seems to be on the agenda as well. Maybe Alex Telles, Brazilian. Here's Maguire. Well, he gave it the treatment, but cut across and rather shanked it into the rough.
Not seen him step forward quite so much in a United shirt in the way that he has in the past for England as well as Hull City. But he had a bit of space in front of him. And that is sliced into the rough.
'61st season of this competition. Aston Villa were the first winners in 1961. It's being squeezed into this revamped schedule. Great effort from everyone involved for it to happen. The next round is next week. And the winners here will either go to Preston or Brighton. Giosa. Nicely guided forward by Ryan Tunnicliffe, the former Manchester United man. We had hoped that would be the case. He spotted the run from Loire. A big occasion for Tunnicliffe. He was hoping to be facing Paul Pogba because they were in the same youth team together. He knows Jesse Lingard well, and he's seen plenty of him positionally in these early minutes. Williams. Who's a Wales international, very much in the frame for Ryan Giggs.
So Bradley on the ball, important night, important role for him because he's got inexperience either side. He's a good talker, organiser. And he's had a good start to the season, the Luton captain.
Yeah, he and Norrington Davis are the only ones that have started all 5 games now for Luton this season because they're the only real left-footed defenders in the club. He's got options elsewhere. The skipper is needed in the Championship and the Carabao Cup. Help Dean Henderson's England ambitions, of course, if he can get a regular supply of games for Manchester United, but David De Gea won't be letting go easily, that's for sure.
No, it's a strange kind of situation for Dean Henderson. He would know all about the criticism of David De Gea, knowing that a lot of eyes are focused on him, on his performance, but he can't think about that. It's all about putting in a solid display himself. Clean sheet, hopefully, no mistakes.
And it's a mistake by Maguire there to pass that Loire was able to intervene. And he hits it hard and low. It's just away from Shinnie and Clark. Brother of Lamana Loire. For Kasenga played for Newcastle against Manchester United a while back now. There's always a little bit of history when these fixtures come around. Lingard, Van der Beek lets it run, shot by Mata and pushed away to a semblance of safety by Shea. They do get a corner.
Well, Mata caught it pretty well, pretty solidly, so it's a good stop by Shea. Especially as it's just coming round Bradley, the defender. Might have been partially unsighted there, but he gets across quickly.
Luton now got the Mata corner to deal with. And they do with lock his header away. Good thinking at United's throw. Van der Beek does some good work by Lingard. Hilton right back helping to defend. Luton get a free kick and a chance to get up the pitch.
Yeah, not easy for them to get hold of the ball, to enjoy a bit of possession against this United team so far.
Well, his return after a very good first spell here triggered a remarkable revival at the end of last season. They were still seemingly certain to go down. Well, Hilton is put through. The flag does go up. No VAR, incidentally, tonight. Not till the semi-finals of this competition.
Yeah, a little bit of space to run into. Fairly high line. Harry Maguire would have known he was off. You can see the picture.
Tunnicliffe. One or two promising moments from Kasenga Lualua, and Luton looking left. It's an amazing set of circumstances, really, that they can field one team in the league, and pretty much all change for the Carabao Cup. But Nathan Jones quick to stress that it is interchangeable. It's just the way it's panned out, and the fixtures coming thick and fast. Fred, Igalo, backed up by Lingard. Now Williams. Luton working hard off the ball, trying not to get drawn out of their shape. And, interception by the birthday boy Clark. And taken on here by Tunnicliffe. Hilton! Well, there was a ball across the face of the goal. I think he spurned, being a striker with a striker's instincts. He was trying to get one for himself.
Well, what a great opportunity that is. 2 against 1 on that side. Can't believe he's tried to sneak it into the near post. If he has, it's a poor decision. A couple of unhappy players in the middle there.
Fred. The other main striker, James Collins, got a hat-trick against Norwich City at the start of this competition. Most of the championship team, so to speak, are on the bench tonight. Here's Mata. Van der Beek. Mata. Fred has the shot. Ooh. Here's a corner. Shea didn't move.
No, he didn't, did he? I think he thought, the keeper, that it was going to end up in the net.
Was going one way, and to be fair, really have changed direction when the deflection happened. A succession of early corners for Manchester United here, and Juan Mata has been supervising them. High and low this time, not to any great effect. I do wonder with the cry for new players whether Manchester United will have to try and get rid of some of their more senior servants now. Van der Beek, Lingard still going. Chance to get Clark forward. Van der Beek in behind the Luton midfield and getting at the back four. Williams, Matic. Van der Beek, Mata. Oh, he might have hit that, but he was offside anyway.
They've got a couple of players in, Mata and Van der Beek, who are good at finding those pockets, which they've done last 5 minutes. That's a real challenge for the Luton players to try and deny them that. Van der Beek was on, but Mata wasn't.
Well, when you're not playing regularly, you get your chance. He has experienced this one. Mata, you want to absolutely make it count and give the manager a problem. Matic. Igalo. He also did well coming across on the cover. James Bree, signed from Aston Villa, would have been the right back tonight. He's injured. Got injured here against Derby at the weekend. And he was only a substitute then. Lingard. And here's Williams. Matic. Neither of them wanted to hit it with their right feet. Suspicion of offside, but the flag stayed down. Lingard. And now Fred. Having to defend for their Carabao Cup futures at the moment.
Well, that was indecisive by poor clearance. Had time to control it.
Lualua and Tunnicliffe going in, the former Manchester United man. It was a hand used. He left Manchester United for a tilt at the Premier League with Fulham. And Rene Meulenstein was the manager. He and Larnell Cole, the former Manchester United coach, plucked from Old Trafford to try and help him at Craven Cottage. It didn't really work out for any of the parties involved. Lingard. Now Maguire. The run was purposeful. The pass was overhit.
Well, they've looked quite inventive, lively going forward, United, but have looked vulnerable at times on the counter.
It's cool, calm and collected Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the moment. Halfway through the first half, decided calling the tune, but haven't looked necessarily impregnable at the back. Norrington Davis, who actually shares a house with Jordan Clark. They're both from the north, moving down to the Bedfordshire area, and they've combined for 2 decisive goals in the past few days. Nice at the tail. Plenty to chat about over a cup of cocoa at the end of the evening.
Well, Jordan Clark's header against Reading last week was a magnificent effort.
And so was the one, I was here on Saturday, so was the one against Derby too. He wasn't picked up, but he planted it in. And Derby had fought their way back, and even after that, Wayne Rooney had a very late effort that almost got Derby a draw. Now the ones that Rooney left behind. Having a go at Luton in the colours of Manchester United. Norrington Davis.
There's been moments to give the home side confidence, hasn't there? Seen a bit more of the ball now as well.
Tunnicliffe playing like a man with a personal crusade here. Getting further and further forward. And the opportunity presents itself. Too far forward, it seems, in the end. Jones, a man of deep convictions, both in his personal life, born-again Christian, and very much in his football philosophy. Didn't work out for him at Stoke. It was a surprise, Alan, wasn't it?
Yeah. Started off with the diamond in the Championship, but abandoned that. Felt too vulnerable down the flanks. Gone with his 4-3-3.
Off Van der Beek. It wasn't an offside, it was a free kick to Luton, as you saw. It might be a corner for Luton. Yeah. Just kept it from going behind the line. Brandon Williams, who had a wonderful season last season, his breakthrough campaign. He won't be too impressed that he reads that Man United are looking for another left back. It's, lots of games, lots of competitions. And you don't expect to play for the Old Trafford club without having pressure on you game in, game out. He's, by all accounts, a tough, determined young man. He certainly plays like that. Shinnie. By Lockyer. Fred looked in to win it, but couldn't keep it. Shinnie again. Lua has a crack. One of those, you don't win the raffle if you don't buy a ticket.
No.
And he's got a corner out of it.
Well, I might feel these set-piece situations represent the best chance of creating something here.
There's plenty of height. The two central defenders. Sidney Bradley and taller than his tall teammates. Elton in there. Shinnie as well. And looking to test out Dean Henderson here. Crowd the goalkeeper is the message from the manager. And Bradley gets it back. Comes out to Kioso, who had a crack. Shinnie was in the thick of it as well after Bradley won the header. And Luton looking dangerous. It was a bit of a bluff on the goalkeeper because they went much deeper than that.
Well, after the header, Shinnie catches it really well and it's on target. Cannons into Brandon Williams. Dangerous moment now. But Luton are enjoying a bit more of the ball. I've had some moments going forward, increasingly so, last 10 minutes.
The old ground here not too different from when you used to play here, Alan, except for the surface.
No, well, I've played on grass here. I've played on the plastic. I know which I preferred. I mean, they were brilliant on the plastic. Obviously, they trained on it and knew exactly the kind of football to play on it.
1985 to 1991. And in 1985, Manchester United came here having won their first 10 league games under Ron Atkinson and didn't win the 11th. And ended up finishing 4th in the table when they looked to stick on favourites for the title. Certainly can't win their first 10 this season. Williams with the throw. Glanced on by Fred. Lockyer is there. Signed from Charlton. They were relegated and Luton stayed up. Okay, so if you can't beat them, join them. Even on the last day, the last win was remarkable. And a couple of own goals and a penalty against Blackburn. Warrington Davis, on loan from Sheffield United.
Really grown into this first half, the Luton players. Beginning to enjoy it. I'm seeing a lot more of the ball.
Given away by Kyoso. He's got a chase on here against Lingard. He can't catch him. Had to reverse it into the run of Igalo. Had to check in the end. And Van der Beek can't get there. There was a time when Ajax, his club, used to keep the best and sell the rest. It's the other way round now. They move players on and keep the finances going, which is even more important of the way football finds itself at the moment. Lutton wins a corner off Williams.
Yeah, it just feels a bit of doubt creeping into the United players, whereas it's belief into the Luton lads. Hilton winning the header against Maguire. They get themselves the corner.
Well, if the criticism of Manchester United's underwhelming performance on Saturday because they were short of match practice, I think a fair explanation of the game, although Palace played extremely well. The same thing here, isn't it? I mean, Luton playing their 5th game competitively. And this group of Manchester United players, by and large, apart from Maguire, playing their 1st. Another corner. Doesn't quite find a Luton head this time. Clark is back to collect. And he loves to go for goal. And he's got another corner.
No, he didn't try and blast it there, just trying to feed it goalwards in the end.
Certainly after a very brisk beginning from the Premier League team. Luton avoided any real disasters. One great save from Shea, and now a fair bit of pressure. But they haven't worked this corner. The training ground routine suggested they could. Maguire, Matic. Matters pulled out to the left-hand side, down beneath us, with Williams supporting him. Matter again. Lingard joining in. Now Maguire. Everyone for Luton behind the ball. Bailly. Bissaka. Into Fred. To Matic. Plenty of passes. Probing. Trying to find a weak point in Luton's defending here, and they can't. As Kyoso stands tall against Lingard.
That'll do Kyoso a lot of good. Clean challenge. United at the moment just searching for ideas.
Van der Beek. Well, frustrated he didn't get the pass, chasing back to try and get involved in the game. Been a good smell, a good smell around the tie, a good spell for Luton.
Yeah, really good.
And, Moncur, quick feet like his dad used to have, Johnny Moncur. You play against him a few times, Alan?
Yeah, many times, and like his dad, he's a technical player, but unlike his dad, he likes to run with the ball. He's a ball carrier. Hasn't had too many chances to do that. I don't think he's got these shin pads on, you know. Very small if he has.
I think
smaller than Jack Grealish's.
It's the laws of the game, you have to have them on. It must be those tiny ones. Clark coming in with another header here. Well, Hilton was going for it as well. It's that left-right combination.
He got the run on it, hadn't he? He could see it. Whether he gave his man a shout, I'm sure he would have. Just can't squarely head the ball. Another good cross, though. Brandon Williams just can't get up. I don't know if he knows that Clark's behind him.
Well, they must have been prepped on that, because if you look at anything Luton recently, it's been the ball from Norrington Davis headed in by Jordan Clark. Kioso. He's had a couple of appearances as substitute for Luton since he's moved from Hartlepool in January, but it's a big night to have your first start against the Manchester United. Off goes Hilton. Played against them before for Aldershot. I don't remember, it was a game we showed live. The recreation ground in Hampshire. Lingard. Gallo waiting in the middle. Van der Beek making up the ground as well. Mata. Clark. Read it. And dealt with it. Williams. It's the first time the clubs have met in the League Cup. And Luton Town working hard to try and make it a very special occasion for them. Matic. I'm sure the Luton fans would have been revved up for this one, and probably the behind closed doors is an advantage to Manchester United. Of course, wouldn't have been short of support here themselves. Offside. Good organisation again from Nathan Jones's team.
Yeah, all a bit flat from United though. They need to do better. After a fairly lively start, they've dropped off. Haven't been able to get down the sides really. Luton have been organised, strong, disciplined.
A new assistant this week, Chris Cohen. Joined from Nottingham Forest, where he had a lot of success with the Forest development squad.
Got a good bench, hasn't he? He's got Paul Hart in there as well as Mick Harford. A lot of knowledge, a lot of know-how. Big Mick played for England with him against Denmark at Wembley one night.
1988 League Cup final, number 9 for Luton, Mick Harford, number 9 for Arsenal, Alan Smith.
I've got his shirt, I think, at home.
We're going to say you've got some scars.
Yeah, I have.
Hard man, Mick. Certainly on the field. Matic. Now Bailly. Almost letting him have the ball. Marking up elsewhere. Wan-Bissaka into Van der Beek. The organisation works well again. Remember, it has to be decided tonight. After 90 minutes, if it's level, it goes to penalties. And after what's been happening in the Premier League, it might be that the Premier League will be decided by penalties. 13 awarded in the first 18 Premier League games. Astonishing number.
Yeah.
Nothing of that danger or an incident to question Tim Robinson, really. Giving a spot kick. He seems to be enjoying his evening, and why not?
Yeah, why not? As are the Luton players. I mean, coming into it quite naturally, you're wondering whether you're good enough to compete against your opposite number, against the team as a whole. But by this stage, they've realised that, yeah, they can. They can compete. And they can get a bit of joy.
He was asked, Nathan Jones, about what sort of team he expected Manchester United to bring. He said, well, it'll either be 11 internationals or 11 other internationals, but it's not quite like that. With the likes of Williams and Henderson and Wan-Bissaka. Henderson has been in the senior squad, as Wan-Bissaka has as well. Maguire certainly of England stock. Mata's Spain days, I think, are over. not his Manchester United days, but he's stuck well by Moncur. Tidy play by Shinnie, who's a former Scotland international. Has a brother who plays for Derby. His brother actually got the start here on Saturday, whereas Andrew was left on the Luton bench. And his brother got taken off at half-time, having had a whack. Plenty of Carabao Cup action to come this week, and we've got Everton are going so well in the Premier League. 6 points out of 6. How will they fare at Fleetwood? 7:30 Sky Sports Football tomorrow. Thursday, Lincoln against Liverpool. Another one, a little bit like this one, where potential banana skin for a famous club. The Jurgen Klopp hasn't been too fussed about the domestic competitions. I'm sure he'd like to change that, though. I say domestic competitions, not counting the Premier League. He was quite fussed about that. Fred. 5 minutes to go to half-time at Kenilworth Road. The Kenny, as the Luton fans like to call it. Might be their home for a while longer. They've got a new site to move to. All sorts of difficulties, not helped by, of course, the pandemic. The need to raise funds in these daunting circumstances. Oh, Mata. It nearly turned out to be a good bad one. Zagallo nearly got onto the end of it.
Well, for somebody as technically talented as him, even this was difficult. It's bouncing towards him across the body. You've got to time that perfectly.
And to just re-establish the superiority they had in the first 15-20 minutes. I'm not going to do it like that. Well, there's no ranting and raving.
No, plenty to say in the dressing room at half-time, though, I'm sure.
In the guest lounge that's been converted into a dressing room.
Yeah, I think they probably came out early on purpose. They didn't really want to... I mean, there's nothing wrong with the guest lounge, I'm sure, but it's not a dressing room. It's a little bit foreign.
Well, it's poised here, isn't it? I mean, Luton have got belief from 4 wins out of 4 this season. And after a start where they would have expected to be on the back foot, get first with the first 15 minutes might well have been an instruction from Nathan Jones, just play it safe and sensible. They've been more ambitious as the half has worn on, without forcing the best out of Henderson. Van der Beek. Lingard. Williams. Mata, Van der Beek, good movement. Ooh, and a little bit of self-protection of handball. There's a challenge there, and it is going to be a penalty. Williams brought down.
Yeah, it's George Moncur. I think he had a good idea when he went into the challenge, an imploring look at the ref.
Well, I challenge you to say you've watched a game this season without a penalty in it.
Well, it is a poor challenge. He knew it immediately. It's all a bit untidy from Luton, which they haven't been for the most part of this first half.
So Juan Mata steps up. So close to half-time. And scores with aplomb. And that will make Manchester United feel a little bit more relaxed. No great jubilation on the bench. George Monker's infringement is punished efficiently.
Yeah, they needed this, didn't they, United? They were going nowhere fast, really. It's the second half, first half wore on.
There's a half clearance by Lockyer. It hit Shinnie and sort of bounced Williams' way and got Ronker on the wrong foot for the wrong kind of challenge, and Mata did the rest.
Ref's in a good position, hasn't he? Had no doubt, pointed to the spot straight away.
And no complaints from the home team. That's a bit of a blow with half-time and the half-time team talk being formed in his brain, I'm sure. Who started brightly, just couldn't get the drag back to work on that occasion. Lingard. For a lot of the half, Manchester United played nice football, but most of it in front of Luton. Passed the ball, they've looked for angles and openings. They've been rather gifted. The advantage they're going to take in at the break. They might even be able to add to it here. It's another Williams forward run. No spot kick this time.
Yeah, he doesn't look it, but he will be disappointed, having seen his team do so much good work. But all it takes a second of a lack of concentration, which I think the challenge was, really.
Yeah, the higher you go, the more you get punished for your mistakes. The culprit was George Ronker. For Manchester United, Brand was in trouble, but Brandon came up with a little